9.
Hello.
There she is. Okay. Look at this. It's perfect. Okay, before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages, welcome to Para with the Abnormal, the podcast for Para with the Normal. My wonderful show with my co-star MaryLynn. Sorry, I think I'm reversed. We're pointing in the wrong directions. But and of course, Miss MaryLynn is here to keep track of me because somebody needs to. It is a wonderful day. We're an hour later than we normally do, but I'm pretty sure that has to do with science. I'm not entirely sure, though. But regardless, we are here with Misti Gaither. Now, what's really interesting about Misti is a lot of people probably already know the name. She's got a very successful YouTube channel and an incredibly compelling underwear line. But I'm going to go ahead and let MaryLynn kind of talk a little bit more about that. Go ahead.
Well, her underwear line or Misti?
Both. Let's get into both. Let's start with Misti, though.
We'll just start with Misti and let her tell us about her underwear line.
Well, it's it's for everyone. I don't discriminate. So there you go.
I love it. Let's see. We already have Crystal says, Misti. Alicia says, what's up, Michael? And hello to everyone. Well, hello. Paranormal Rockdown's on. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. Misti, first off, for people that maybe do not know where you are located, can you tell us where you are located?
Yes, I'm located in New Orleans, and best city ever.
New Orleans is a very unique place. I have been there one time. I was there for one day. I ate at a hot dog cart called Lucky Dog.
And it's still with you?
It is to this day. Yes.
Yeah.
Somewhere in here. But it was actually really delicious. I'm not going to lie. But I also did witness a guy die on the street.
Yeah.
Drugs, it happens. New Orleans, I guess. I don't know. That's how it works. But I guess New Orleans is really kind of like this crazy melting pot. People think of it as just like French Creole, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one of the best ways to describe New Orleans as a melting pot. I mean, we have so many cultures and just so many different races and beliefs and just everything, all into one. And it's really once you get here and once you live here, you really don't want to go anywhere else because this is the Mecca. Paranormally, just, once New Orleans gets a hold of you, you're there.
And what's really interesting, too, is it's one of the few places where you could be dead for hundreds of years, and the next thing you know, you're on a Wet and Wild ride.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
the flooding.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they do the crypts above ground, because of the flooding.
Yeah, because
how many times that happened before they were finally like, you know what, this isn't working.
Yeah, probably didn't take them very long, at least a couple of times. But yeah, we're below sea level, so anytime we get a rain, it doesn't take much for the streets to start flooding at all.
So I was there right after Hurricane Katrina, so I spent some time in the area and was in New Orleans working with NASA and the military bases there.
Okay.
So definitely kind of know the area, and it's very interesting. Lots of energy, lots of stuff going on.
Shana says one flood would have been enough for her. Bill Walter, hey, what up, buddy? We're going to talk about Paranormal Rockdown and Broadhead Manor here in a little bit, so hang in there. Where is Kahlua? I think by Kahlua, hopefully you mean drinks. We do spirits for the spirits, and we're going to go ahead and get to that right now. We might as well. Misti, what do you got with you?
Well, I couldn't find a shot glass. That's how it is. But of course, no home in New Orleans is complete without a Mardi Gras cup, right?
That's right.
And I got, I have some, it looks like watermelon vodka I'm going to shoot with y'all.
Woo, okay, I've got my bamboo today.
And I've got my trusty fireball. As you can see, it's nice and cold.
And I'm going to use my trusty dusty porta potty because my Packers played like trash. So.
And I'll have to get you a shot glass, Misty.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, and Linda says, and Melissa say, hey.
Hey, Linda.
Cheers. Spirits with the spirits.
Cheers to the spirits.
Woo. Always.
Now with 60% less pickles.
Well.
Come on, Alicia.
Oh, Alicia's like, yeah. Oh, Bill's got peppermint schnapps. I love it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, quick side quest, which is ironic. That's the name of your show, which we're about to get to. We were on the cruise ship. I just got off of a Disney cruise, and I can drink. I'm a very tiny person, but Miss MaryLynn can testify. I'm fairly genius at being able to figure out my liquor levels.
Let's just say if I drank as much as he can drink in one night, I would be under the table dead.
But for me, half of it is, I'm a very social person, so I know what I need to do to help liven things up, and I'm okay with that. We were there with some friends of ours, and this gentleman, his name is William Galligan, who's actually a phenomenal, he does AV aerial photography as a company with drones. It's incredible the stuff that he makes. But so he's like, well, I'm going to buy the drinks tonight. He comes down, he's in some weird kind of mood. So he orders 2 double Captain Morgans for him and 2 doubles for me.
Whoa. Okay.
So we pound those, and then he's like, I'm going to order again, the exact same order. So that's 8 shots in less than 30 minutes. I thought I was going to die. So I was like, I'm done. I'm not even going to eat dinner. I'm effed up. I'm going to the room, and I'm just going to try to get as much of this out of my system as I can. He apparently decided to go to dinner, spilt his soup everywhere, cursed up a storm. They gave him coffee and then dragged him out of the room, dragged him out of the dining room, and he crawled his way to his cabin and to his bed. Wow. So drink responsibly, folks.
So Crystal's asking where you got your porta potty. Amazon?
I'm pretty sure I got it on Amazon. We know what we need to do. We just need to start like an Amazon page, a shopping page for all the weird stuff that we find, because I do find a lot of weird stuff. Yep. Without further ado, Quest. What is it? When did you start it?
Okay. We've been going for about a little bit over a year now. And it's about true crime and about paranormal. And I have a lot of wonderful guests on my show, such as yourselves. And, just so many different people in the paranormal field and true crime field. And we just talk about what's going on and kind of what's happened and why are people in the field and what keeps them in. And it's just, I enjoy meeting everyone and just really getting to know them better and letting the audience.
And you do, obviously we focus a lot, especially the people that maybe watch our podcast, we focus heavily on the paranormal side of things. And sometimes I think it's important for us to focus on that true crime side of things, which I love that you do. And I think the first thing that people think of when they think, oh, true crime is, I want to know about a lot of the unsolved cases, a lot of the famous cases. But I think what we really need to focus on is kind of the psyche, right? I mean, what's going through these people's heads when they're making these decisions? Because let's say, as a fan of the paranormal, you're out here, you're doing your thing. You could run into one of these entities that has committed some of these atrocities. And I'm here to tell you folks, they don't think like you and I do. Nope. So what do you think about that, Misty?
I really agree. Like that a lot of maybe some of the unsolved cases, and I've brought this up on my show more than once, especially with the axe murders. They may have happened up north. There's several that happened in Louisiana, some in Texas. And, we talk about how that, spirits can travel, demons can travel because of the energy. And so what if it's just the same spirit and just using different people? Because a lot of the axe murders, for instance, they have similarities. And so even though things in time, maybe, like there's a span of time or whatever, some of them still kind of follow the same path. And so what if it's just a spirit, a demon, that uses someone human to commit these murders? Just a thought.
That is a way to look at it.
Yeah, and what do you think, MaryLynn, from like a psychic standpoint? When you look at somebody, I mean, I realize there's like a whole mediumship to this too, but
well, Misty's also a psychic.
Okay, so perfect. Well, so then you both can kind of give me some insight on this because I do not have a clue. But when you look at somebody like an aura, or you can look at their intention, I mean, can you say, hey, this guy's done some stuff, man?
Yes. You can see it in the eyes. Or I can. Misty probably can too. Yes.
Well, there we go. There's one now.
And here's the other thing too, is I have this hypothesis. I can't really say theory because that wouldn't be the right word, but this hypothesis that there's a chance. First off, Misty, do you believe in past lives?
I do.
Okay. I believe there's a possibility that when we pass, right, what we do is we leave every piece of that life behind. We leave it intact, kind of like a snake would shed its skin. So it stays attached to everything that was and is. And while you, as the entity, continue to move on, right? However, the caveat here is, just like a snake, little bits and pieces of that skin can get stuck to you. So you could bring some of that with you. And I do believe, even if that's the case, the one thing that doesn't change from life to life, even though some of the decisions, who you are, how much money you make, where you're born, those things may change physically, but one thing that may not change is what's happening with you mentally. So there's a good chance, for example, let's take John Wayne Gacy. He could be alive again right now as John Wayne Gacy and not realize it.
And there's a 99% chance that he is.
I mean, doesn't that not freak you out?
Well, and that's to where, for me, it's the past lives. You leave that life behind, but you're still bringing parts of it with you, those memories. For me,
Sure.
It's like I remember a lot of them, but you have a lot of those tendencies that are there. So it is very possible that he could kill again, but it's something, or he may, just have anger issues, something that he's working through.
What about you, Misty?
Well, I do, always say that how you're in life is how you're going to be in death. And even though it's I'm not an expert on past lives or anything, but as you, go into your next life, you're still going to be that same, unless, they say, well, you have lessons and you do this and you do that. But if you're that evil, do you really try to change?
That's true. And I think
that's where you work on your spiritual. Whenever you come into the new lifetime, is you're working on your spirituality, trying to better yourself. So you're leaving those bad traits behind, or you're trying to fix those bad traits. And that's why we choose to keep coming back.
But what if the serial killers, they're not supposed to have any remorse, and they're not supposed to have the normal thinking that we do. So what do they care? learning, like lessons and trying to do better, because if they're the same way that they were, then they're not going to care. And that's just my opinion.
That's a really interesting way of looking at it, because I never really thought of it that way. That what if something like a serial killer, what if it's nothing more than a spiritual natural storm? What if it's like a hurricane? It's just it's a disaster that exists, right? It's meant to exist. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's a terrible way to look at it, but
well, that's what Misty was pointing out, is like it could
Yeah.
be, a demon, or it could be something dark. It could be another spirit that's coming in that's not human, that's
Right.
affecting these people and making that happen. So with that spirit, it's not going to jump to past lives because it still exists.
And Crystal, I do have a spiritual gift. It is my butt. It will not quit. Okay.
Yeah, he's got the girl booty.
I do. I have,
Model my underwear line.
Yes.
I will. Send it to me, girl.
So, Crystal, on that question, he does have some abilities, and he is learning how to do those as we go through Para with the normal filming. He is.
Yeah. So
he's learning.
If our show is ever released, everybody 1-800-BLAME Shane.
Shane.
Blame Shane Pittman. He is the reason you do not have an episode 2 right now. So everybody blame Shane. And Shayna, yeah, I do believe past lives imprint on us.
Yes.
Miss Karen, it's a pleasure to see you in here. And Jamie Lynn. I got to meet Jamie Lynn. She's I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to her, Misty, but one of the most incredible beings on this planet. I'm definitely not a serial killer, quite the opposite. So here's the other thing that I was going to bring up with true crime. What if it's all the same person? Or what if it's all the same entity? What if it's literally the same thing, the same dude, the same lady, the same it?
And I think that's what Misty was pointing out, is like it could be that same thing.
I mean, that's crazy, because if that is the case, then that would mean like our prison system is irrelevant, right? Hanging them, the murder or whatever, to the whatever they call it, the execution would be irrelevant, because they're just going to come back over and over again. We need like Ghostbusters, man.
Yeah.
Or entity busters.
Yeah. That's nuts. So we had I want to say, Misty, we had the pleasure of meeting you at the Cajun Paracon. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
You were supposed to say that you had the pleasure of meeting us, but that's fine. I get it.
Don't forget. And I had the pleasure of meeting you also.
So we are doing the Cajun Paracon again this year, so we'll see you there.
Yes, you will.
Gina, what's up? I'm gonna hold on.
Misty, I have a question for you, because whenever I read your bio and stuff, you were talking about advocating for psychics to be able to be seen and heard and believed in the police field. So that's something that I've actually worked with Baton Rouge, and I helped a police detective there with some of her cold cases. So it's something that is kind of near and dear to me as well. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I think that, I know that it's done, and it's not like a concept that I just came up with out the blue. But what I would like to see is, how even genealogy, how they're doing it now, and they're doing the GED match, and they're going like 10, 15, 20 years ago, that wasn't even thought of or a possibility. And they're able to now solve all these unsolved cases from 60 years, 50 years, 40 years. And my point is, if we have reputable psychic mediums who, are vetted and will actually be a positive influence and force for the police department. Why can't it be admitted as, in court, or as a tool more prevalent for law enforcement? Because you have so many cold cases that are just sitting on the shelves that aren't getting any kind of, attention or anything. So what does it hurt for, to use a psychic medium as a tool? If you feel, I understand that there are, you have to go through all the, like, was it this, was it that, you go through all the motions or whatever. But when you get to that point where nothing else works, then why don't, it should be something that's acceptable and that's thought of and used as a tool. And that's my point. If we do our part as psychic mediums and, are reputable and do what we're supposed to do, then I don't feel that there should be any issues, that we should be used.
Yeah, I agree, and I think a great place to start is why can't psychic mediums take a crack at cold cases?
Well, and I think that's where a lot of them do, and we do have police detectives that work with us, that we've already proven ourselves to know what we're talking about, and and it's something that's where you get a lot of people who want to do it, but it's guesswork, and that's where, until they can prove that we actually are legitimate, they're not going to be able to put that into a court case because it's hearsay. It's something that you see in your mind, or however you pick up whatever, your abilities are. For me, I see it, and I can see it happening, and I can explain it. And it's something that until they can have a tangible experience and be able to show that, they're not going to use us.
Yeah, until they get a tangerine experience. It's just not going to happen.
Because they get people calling them about cases, maybe they are reputable and maybe that they're not, and they get so many calls from different ones claiming to be psychics and stuff. And I have this, I was shown this, and then, somebody else will call and I was shown that. And that's my point about being reputable, because if you are, you shouldn't be flooding the police with all your, your suggestions or your feelings or anything. But if it's used as a tool, then it would be done right. And then you could go through the channels of being accepted as an expert witness or material witness in a court proceeding.
Right.
Where's Cleo when you need her, right?
Well, that's like Sylvia Brown, actually, she's reputable, and she actually did a cold case, and she was working on that, and she got some of the information wrong. So they hammered her on that, and it's something that it just puts doubt whenever you're never going to be 100% right.
Well, that's where I think it shouldn't be so much that they should be allowed in the courtroom. I think they should be allowed to work with the detectives to help them pick up the evidence that can still be admissible in a courtroom.
Yes.
Because that way they don't have to try to take some. Because, look, I don't care how good of a psychic you truly are. You are still dealing with you're dealing with things of astral. Exactly. It's all interpretation, all perception too, right? And intention and materialization. So there's so many parts. And I think, Sarah Lemos, we all love Sarah Lemos. And I think she'll tell you this too. It's you can be the most accurate psychic in the world and you're still not going to get it all right.
Yep.
I mean, look, people spend they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to be a meteorologist who are wrong all the time. Okay. They're trying to tell me the weather. It's not going to rain today. It rained today. Okay. So, right. And nobody gets mad at them, right? Because they know it's still an interpretation. You still have to interpret the information that you're given.
Yes.
So I think people need to step back and chill. If you have some sort of animosity, okay, or you hold some type of grudge against a psychic, please give them another shot.
Yep. Well, and that's what you're talking about with Misty, like if she and I were standing side by side, we both hear something. I might hear the word mom. She might hear the word dad, so it just depends on the interpretations that comes to her or who she's hearing. It could be.
And I could smell hot dog water. We don't know.
There you go. Yeah.
We don't know.
Right. I mean, you don't know. I mean, and does it mean that either one of us are wrong? No. It means that the interpretation,
yes,
like we were saying, that's what it is. And so at the end, the results are what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note, Richard Johnson, hey. So I want to talk a little bit about, yes, Cajun Paracon coming up. We did put the link in, I believe.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat right there. So please figure out if you can make it. I would love to see you. Misty, she would love to see you. She's going to have her underwear line in full swing come then.
All three of them.
But some other ones that I'd like to talk to you about. That's in April. We have one coming up prior to that, which is the Lone Star Paracon put on by the Kling brothers. That is San Antonio-ish.
Yes, it is in San Antonio. Hold on one second.
Yeah, in shirts.
In shirts, and that is the Lone Star. It's on March 29th. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's March. I thought it was February. Which one's in February? Missouri.
Missouri Con is in here. I'm going to show you, or hold on. Nope,
yes, it will, Jamie Lynn. Yes, it will.
All right, you see my screen?
There it is, yes. So here we go. So yes, November 23rd, we are filming for our final episode for Para with a Normal, which is right around the corner, which is awesome. I swear, I promise you guys, the episodes are done. Most of them have been edited, and they're getting ready to do a 3-episode release. So please hang in there. Please rewatch the first episode. Let's get us up in the rankings. It's been a while. Please also check out the Speakeasy episode. We do an interview. It's phenomenal. And then there is now a premium content called Para with the Normal Aftercuts, in which I give MaryLynn the greatest tour of a mine that she has ever had in her entire life. So please take a look at that. Next, December 21st, if you're not doing anything for Christmassy time and you live near us, the Boulder City Company store, which is right here in my hometown, we are going to do just a little mini Parameet where MaryLynn will be doing a gallery reading. There will be alcohol. There will be sandwiches. It is going to be an absolute blast. We're going to have some other additional special speakers and maybe even do some private sessions with MaryLynn the next day, and maybe even an investigation or two of some of the oldest, scariest places in Boulder City. Next, January, we will be in New Orleans doing some filming. So we'll come visit you, Misty.
So Misty's actually talking to me about us possibly investigating with her. So we'll talk offline about that.
That would be amazing.
It is done.
Yeah, I'd like to say that you're ready for me, but you're not. But that's okay.
Nobody's ready for you.
Nobody is. Missouri comes up February 28th to March 1st. We're trying to get a part of that. We're still working on that one. Lone Star, we will be one of the main sponsors. We will be one of the VIP sponsors. So please get a VIP ticket while you still can for the Lone Star Paracon. It's going to be mental. Next, April 5th, I'm actually wearing the shirt Own Your Path. This is one of our great friends.
So I have a commercial for that.
Perfect. So she's going to go ahead and play the commercial for the Paraventure with Kelly and Own Your Path. So I just wanted to show her some support because she's a wonderful person.
Get through the list and then I'll show the commercial.
Okay, great. May 3rd, we do have a giant Bigfoot event that's going to happen in Townsend, Tennessee. I'm very excited. I hope to have plenty of moonshine and KFC.
We're doing a podcast. We will be podcasting from the big room.
Yes. And then I know Bill Walter is in here. I hope he's still in here. Do you mind? Bill Walter is the owner of Broadhead Manor. It is a 60,000 square foot facility that was a school built in 1889 was the original when the original building was built. It was also used as a nunnery. There is an Indian burial ground on site. It is absolutely nuts. This place is incredible. And we will be there for what's called Paranormal Rockdown, where Green Jello, if you remember Green Jello, little pig, let me in. They will be performing there. And you will get to do an investigation. There will be a massive vendor event there in July. So please consider coming to the Paranormal Rockdown. We will put all the information for all these places in. And if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me. Bill is still in here. The other very cool thing that I didn't mention about Broadhead Manor is Bill has this he has an incredible husband who does all of his own like special effects is the best way I could put it. He builds and creates life-size and lifelike like Michael Myers and Samara from The Ring. They've got a couple of unique used coffins that you can go and see. Things that will just blow your mind, and some of the visual effects are so incredibly real. I can't wait to get in there with a bunch of people and scare the ever-loving piss out of some more folks, which I accidentally already did. I don't want to name names because I don't want to ruin their experience, but I did already accidentally do that while I was there. But it's horror mannequins. Thank you, Bill. Fantastic. And hopefully you get a chance to meet Bill and try Bill's nuts. They're amazing. So, continue.
I will do the commercial now. Hold on a second.
Oh, Misty, are you selling Quest shirts?
Yes, I am.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Paraventure is a virtual paranormal event supporting the Autism Alliance of Michigan. Enjoy top speakers, vendors, and global locations online while contributing to a great cause. The Autism Alliance of Michigan provides essential tools and resources for individuals with autism, fostering hope, understanding, and acceptance. Join us to remove the fear of autism and embrace shared values. Get your tickets today. Not.
It's just going to play an outro for no reason. Bye.
We're done.
We're done. See ya. Okay, so definitely, yes. I'm really excited. Jamie Lynn was kind enough when we did the Rock Island haunted Rock Island Roadhouse of Rock Island Roadhouse Island Road Haunted. When we did that Paracon, she was kind enough to get us down there to go visit Bill and Ron and visit the actual Broadhead Manor, BROD, Broadhead Manor. And it was, I'm so excited for that event. It's going to be a great event. So please definitely look into that. Misty, when you think back, okay. Sorry, one of my dogs is hurt all of a sudden. So give me one more. Okay. All right.
So while he's consoling the family, so what do you have coming up on your agenda?
Well, I have, let's see, I'm going to be guesting, doing psychic readings, medium readings at Mystic Path. It's a store here. I'm also, I think this is the first time I've announced it, we're going to be having a new segment to Quest that'll be each month, and it's where Sid Patrick, Dana Valley, and myself, we're going to be helping a local police department that I can't say right now, with some cold cases, and it's called Unveiling Solutions. So that'll be happening on my show right after the first of the year.
Very cool.
Hi.
So is the puppy okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
he got tangled up in a charger cord, and it freaked him out a little bit. That's all. But he is good, I promise. Let's see here. Oh, Alicia says loves us so much. She works with individuals with developmental disabilities. Was that a shot at me? I get it. That's fine. And my team member Tiffy Connolly does also. That's awesome. That's incredible. And then Alicia says that's so great, Misty, which is phenomenal. Misty, it's not great. That's phenomenal, by the way. So when you do your show, and you have, and when you have your guests on, what do you feel sets your show apart from like other true crime investigative shows?
I think that, what's kind of different and interesting about, Quest is, I think I have a good rapport with my guest, and I like, and people get to see them maybe not how they would normally see them, like on TV or maybe doing, like some other interviews. But I think that the interaction is key, when you have your guest on, because you want to find out more about them, but you want them to be at ease too. And so when they're at ease and they, of course, and then they'll start talking more and, tell you some things. And I think that's what, it's all about. Intent is about everything. And I know that it's my intent each week to bring the positivity of the paranormal field out, to bring maybe some answers and some help to true crime. So that's what I do. I try to do on every show is to do those things.
That's awesome. I think that's key too, right? I think being comfortable, making the guests comfortable, just having that familiarity. No,
Mike is using big words tonight.
am I really? I didn't realize it, but so my bad, guys.
You have to take it down for us a little bit so we'll understand.
Right. Okay, let me try that. Let me try this again here.
Sorry.
Okay. I think it's important. Oh, damn it. That's probably a big word too, I guess. Huh?
Trying to show off.
It's smart to talk to the guests like they were one of your own, right? Like they belong, versus, like a job interview, right?
Exactly.
And I feel like you can watch. Oh, they're bossing me around today.
Well, that's part of, I think, what he's talking about is just making them feel comfortable. And because if they're not comfortable, you're not going to get that interaction from them, and they're not going to be the true self.
Yeah, and that's what you want. I mean, you want to get that, like I said, that rapport and that connection with your guests. So it's always important to me to do my part as far as researching and just to have that openness and on my end. Big head to my toes.
Yes, because I feel like when you put somebody in a position that's like a job interview, right, where they feel like they're kind of under interrogation, or I guess that's a big word too. Man, I don't know. I can't stop right now.
I can follow you there.
But that's a pretty common word, right? Interrogation.
It is.
You tend to get this wall, right?
Yes.
Because they're not entirely sure how to act, what to think, and they don't know what your viewership is like, right? Maybe there's a chance that they've come on your show and but they've never watched it before.
Right. Correct.
Right. I mean, a lot of these, celebrities or they get busy.
Sure.
So maybe they just don't have the chance to kind of do a little research prior, but I highly recommend that you do. She's got a lot. She's got, how many episodes do you have right now? It's a gajillion.
Yeah, it's maybe 60, 50, 60, something like that. Several. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I want to start numbering hours so that way we can keep track of them.
Right. See, we drop a new one every week. So
I try to drop one at least every day.
You drop 2 or 3 every day.
That's true. Yeah, I'm the most regular guy I know.
I only know that because we travel together so much.
It is true. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. It's crazy.
What's bad is because we travel so much together, there for a while we were on the same cycle.
We were. Yeah.
It happens.
That's a real thing, folks. You travel with somebody long enough, you become pea buddies. That's just how it is.
It's true.
I spent like a week in a RV with Shane Pittman and Josh Purvis. And I made it a point to try to go to the bathroom every single time Shane did. Just because it just was super awkward, you know? And it was the best because I'd just be like, hey, buddy. How's it going? Doing good? Need any help? Don't shake it too much. You're doing a great job. So, and it just drives them nuts. But also, it came one of those things where, like with MaryLynn and I think people are like, that's weird. You guys can sleep in like the same room. I was like, you gotta understand, man, we've been filming for 8 hours. We've been traveling for hours. By the time we get to our room, I mean, we just crash. You're out. You're just done.
Except for the first night, the first time we traveled together. So he jumps in his bed, I'm in my bed, and he starts talking. And you see Mike. It's who he is. And I mean, he has me laughing so hard. 4:00 in the morning, we're still laughing. And I'm having to tell him to stop. I have to go pee because I'm going to pee the bed. And then I'm laughing so hard I can't breathe. So I'm having to tell him to stop. So he waits 15 seconds or so. He's like, okay, time to sleep. And then starts up again. So it's nonstop.
Yes. How I am in the show, how I am on the podcast. That is how I am in real life. Maybe I use bigger words in real life, I guess. But other than that, yeah. But I feel like that's important. I think it's important to. It's important. It's the same thing with anybody that watches your show, Misty. It's important to be who you are because that's what they watch for.
Right. And they
Say that one more time. I had bark, 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 bark.
I said, and they know when you're not being your true self too, because if they watch your shows and stuff, and then they have that affinity with you, and then that's also a big word. But if that they'll know, well, something's wrong, or she's not, and so it's good to always just be yourself, and then you won't lose that way.
Yeah,
that's true. Shayna just said you egged him on more when you said you had to pee. It's true. I also owe Shayna a giant apology. We were in Virginia City, and Shane, that's where I met Shayna. We go way back, Shayna and I. And I was on my phone. I was second floor, third-ish floor of the Washoe Club. I'm on my phone. I'm kind of taking some video in the dark, okay, because there's no lights. And her and I want to say his name was Mike, ironically. They go walking past me, and I just kind of look over and I go, hey. They're so into whatever it is that they're doing, they just walk right past me. And they go into another room and they start asking questions. I'm like, well, that's weird. I'm like, huh. And then they're asking questions. I'm standing like in an open like window way. Like it's very obvious to see me, but they do not see me. And then they continue walking, and it kind of takes you in a roundabout way, and it takes you in front of this window opening that I'm next to. Right next to the window opening, there happens to be a mannequin. So they're in there for probably, I don't know, 10 minutes asking questions to, for EVPs. Finally, they come walking by, and Mike says, "Hey, be careful. There's a couple dummies in there." And so as they walk by, I reach out and go, "I'm not a dummy," And I reach my hands out to grab her. She screamed so loud that you could hear it throughout the entire Washoe Club. And I made her pee her pants too. It was so bad. So I apologize because that was pretty rough. That was pretty rough. I'm lucky you didn't die, or I'd be on a true crime podcast with Misti Gaither.
So, Misty, what was one of your experiences that just scared you at any location? Have you been scared?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Some, like at the haunted hotel. I mean, it's not that I was scared, but when I had investigated there before, it was, just a feeling, whether it was the X-Man or what, they have just a negative feeling in some of the rooms there. And it just really, it just made me, I could just feel the anger and just the, it just stayed with me for a while, and I hate that about it. You get the anger, and when you pick up on the feelings, and it's harder sometimes to shake them off. Oh, hey, boo boo.
This is the Barker one. Sorry.
Oh, you can bring Kahlua in here. She will take over the whole show. But so it's like stuff like that. But as far as just like staying scared or nothing, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you ever felt on an investigation like that fear of I can't be here? Yeah.
I mean, that like I've done it on like a house cleansing before, that was really bad. And, it's like, oh my God, this is a little too, a little bit out of too much for me, but you have to do what you got to do. And
so let me ask you this, what's your favorite scary movie? What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh my God. I don't know why. And I know I like the Conjuring universe. I like that, and Insidious and all that. I don't know why here lately. I've just been watching The Nun and The Nun Part 2 a lot. I don't know why, but
Okay.
I don't know, but I've been watching it, and I'm like, okay, so
something appeals to you.
Yeah, my wife's like, oh, you're watching that again? I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't know. So I've been watching.
MaryLynn, what's yours?
I really don't have one.
You cannot say Harry Potter or the Prisoner of Azkaban, okay?
It's going to be all the Harry Potters.
So for me,
see all the stuff back there.
For me, and this actually explains a lot, because like I'm not a jump scare scream type person, but for me, the most afraid that I had ever been was the first time I had watched The Ring.
Yeah.
And it was not, and what's funny is it's not the scenes that people would normally think would have scared me. What scared me the absolute most was actually when I thought the movie was over, and she spoiler alert, but it's gajillions years old. She pulls the body out, and she's like, yeah, everything's over. She's talking to her kid, and he goes, you weren't supposed to help her.
Yeah.
I lost my ever loving fucking mind. Okay.
Yeah.
I was in the movie theater, and I went, what? And then she comes out of the TV screen after that, and I was like,
I don't like, what's her name? Samora? I don't know. Yeah, that. And I have to just really, can I make a redo? Because when you're talking about scary movies, I was just like talking like that, like, but you were actually meaning some that like scare me. Like
scares you.
Okay, I have a confession to make, and I don't know why, but Freddy, like when I was Freddy, let me tell you, I don't elf with Freddy. I don't care. I don't care.
So that's one for me as well. I actually, when the movies came out, I lived on Elm Street. So that just messed it up even more. And it's like, so I would not watch them.
I had no problems with Freddy. You want to know what scared me as a kid? And you're going to laugh. And you'd be like, Mike, you're an idiot. And it'll explain a lot about my personality. Gremlins. I had nightmares every night, but I could not stop watching Gremlins. I watched it every day. And my mom and my grandmother would be like, why are you watching that again? I was like, I love it, Grandma. And then like, but you damn near pee yourself every night and you wake up screaming. I just loved Gremlins. It was the best. I was also 4. Okay.
Sun is on.
4.
Yeah, I was 4. Okay, I was born in 82. Hey, there's Thomas Demko. Thomas, I don't know if have you had a chance to meet Thomas Demko? Misty? Have you met Thomas Demko?
I have not.
So he lives in the orphanage in Gettysburg, in the haunted orphanage in Gettysburg.
Okay.
And he's been there for a long time, and obviously nobody's adopted him, so I've taken him in.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Which is great because now I get all of his AARP discounts, which is great. He's
what he forgets is I have that too. So
I didn't know that. Oh, okay. But no, he's Tom. So yeah, Tom lives there. He's phenomenal. He lives in Pennsylvania, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Yep. So. But yes, it was in fact the first movie to scare me was Gremlins. But obviously the one that truly like horrified me to the core because my mind was active enough to kind of understand what was going on was The Ring. And it wasn't, and like I said, it wasn't a jump scare. It was the culmination. It was the realization and culmination. Damn it, there I am using big words again. It was them realizing that they had done fucked up.
Yeah.
The whole movie. She spent the whole damn movie and effed up. I've never experienced that before in my life. I literally wheeled my TV. I was like, not today, Satan.
Yeah.
So what's a movie that has just completely thrown you off that you did not expect the ending?
Oh, wow. Let me think.
I would imagine it would be hard for you because you do so many true crime stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. I watch so much of that. I mean, when I watch TV, it's either paranormal or true crime. I mean, that's what it's either one or the other. Oh, wow. Something that kind of threw me. Ooh.
So while you're thinking of that, so for me,
can we get back to me? Can we take a station break?
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I always have this thing is I can watch a movie and it's brand new in the movie theater and my husband's sitting next to me and I can tell him what they're going to say before they even say it. And so that's, for me, it kind of ruins the movies. The only one that has actually gotten me, Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. At the very end, it's like you realize all the signs are there, but you just don't see it. And then at the very end, it's like you realize he's dead. And it's like, oh my God. So that was the only one that's gotten me.
Obviously for me, The Ring. The Ring was the one that got me. And I do not mean this, I would say braggadociously, but I don't mean this to be like come off as a jerk, I guess. But I've had a lot of talks about MaryLynn about how my mind works. I'm a very smart person in a weird way, right? I know it doesn't seem like it fits, but it does, trust me. So a lot of times when I have conversations, I can have the same conversation with you 5 or 6 times, and I already know the outcome of what you're going to say before you even say it. So a lot of times I may seem disinterested or I might go, huh? And if I say, huh, that means you thought of something to say that I didn't think of. But a lot of times, so it's really hard for me to be, I guess, fooled by books or to be scared because I've already thought of outcomes long before they've been created because my mind is always like a chaotic jumble. But that was one time that I truly had not thought that was going to be the outcome was the ring. I will also say, I will throw in there that I felt like, though the ending was Memento. Have either of you seen Memento?
No, I haven't seen that.
Fantastic movie. I highly recommend Memento, and I also recommend the Korean version of Old Boy. I did not see that one coming either. Those are very few movies that I can say I was genuinely like, well done, sir.
Is that the one that you had me watch with you?
No.
One. It was it was kind of.
Was that the comedy one? Welcome to Collinwood.
Yes.
I loved that movie. I love comedies because even if you know what's going to happen, it's still so funny. And if you haven't seen Welcome to Collinwood, it stars George Clooney, and it's a very slow burn about 70s Cleveland, but the ending is worth it. Trust me.
I'll check it out.
So, Misty, you've had time.
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I can't think of one right off the cuff right now. Sorry.
Okay, well, then let's reframe the question a little bit. What true crime case have you come across that you literally have been like, I have no idea how this happened? I'm stunned.
I think like the BTK killer, the bind, torture, kill.
I've never heard.
From in Kansas. He had
like he built like a semi, and he had all the stuff in the semi.
No, this is the guy.
You're thinking of Dexter.
Oh,
yeah. This is Dennis Rader is his real name, and he went by the moniker BTK, which stands for bind, torture, kill. And he, but what the odd thing about him was he would go so long in between killings, like years and years and years, and then he would just start up again. And so, I find that that's kind of, interesting because not too many of them, they'll just keep killing until they're stopped. But he would literally go like a chunk of years between kills. And like, it was like, I think like 20 to 30 years between his first kill and his last one.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I just really,
bless you.
And he sent a letter to yeah, Crystal, he was that's correct. And he sent a letter to law enforcement, and they found him, through that letter, with the floppy disk and everything back in the day. And that's how that they found him. Was it just finally he thought he was so smart that he wasn't so smart.
So do you think maybe his conscience got a hold of him and that's why he did it? Or it was just him thinking that he was that smart?
I think it was him thinking that it was that smart because he had no remorse for anything that he did. So,
well, and I think this is something else too, that I think serial killers genuinely believe that they are not only smarter than you, but some of the smartest people on the planet. And at some point in their spree, they decide that they need recognition. And I think that's what gets them caught. Yeah. I think eventually they get to the point where they go, well, you haven't recognized how brilliant I am yet.
Yeah.
And isn't that kind of
downfall? I'm sorry. That's a lot of their downfall is because that they think that they're so smart, and but they think they're so smart, but like you said, they crave that recognition that sometimes that overpowers, them maybe being a little bit more careful and all that because they want that recognition so bad. And that's what happened to him, because he was mad because another person was kind of taking credit for some of the kills that he did. That's
Copycats.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he was like, no, I'm the killer, So, yeah. That, for the question, that kind of, got me. And there's more cases, some of them that bother me more than others. And that's one of them that bothers me. So, because if you really dig into his psyche and the murders and start from the beginning and go through, it really bothers you when you really start thinking, oh my God, there's really places out in the world that that we have people like that amongst us. And you looking at him, you would never, he was the president of the church. He was
Wow.
yeah. And so you would never think of him as being someone that would kill young kids or women or whatever. And you would never think that. But that just goes to show you, do we really know the people that we are amongst,
Well, that was what I was going to ask is, being as a psychic, whenever you get or you're doing those true crimes, because you do so many of them, how does it affect you? How is it, how do you deal with the emotional part of it, of trying to move on? You know that they've already done it, but how does that affect you emotionally, physically?
I mean, it does to a certain point. I mean, some cases bother me more than others. I think that when, because we have a lot of famous cases here in New Orleans, and when I'll be getting into some after the first of the year that are, that really affects me because it makes it more home, because it is home. It kind of hits harder, and I just have to kind of step away sometimes and like, what, today I'm not going to, research true crime, or I'm not going to delve into it, or I'm not going to talk to this person, or this one. I have to kind of set the boundaries, because if I don't,
Yeah.
It weighs on your mind and it weighs on your spirit. And so you have to have boundaries, or, it will take, it'll really like get you down.
Do you also get a physical part? Do you get physically ill, or, like for me, I have fibromyalgia now because I've been doing this for so long. It's like I've collected all of that energy, and then you learn to release it. But do you have anything physical that it affects you that way as well?
I do. I get the nausea, and I just, it really, I can tell like my moods are just the way that I feel, like if this is maybe called, maybe such as a depression or something that I get from being around it, because it's negativity, it's the evilness, it's the worst of the worst. And if you're down, what is it? You play with dogs, or anyway, you get, you'll get the ticks or whatever. And so if you're around that all the time, and like I said, if you don't have boundaries,
Yep,
then you're going to be, you have to have boundaries spiritually, physically, mentally. You have to have all that, because if you don't, it'll really wear you down.
Yeah.
So do you have somebody that you actually go to and kind of talk to get all of that out as well?
I do sometimes, like I'll talk to my wife, Catherine. Some of y'all know her, and we have a good relationship where I have that where I can go talk to her, and she'll get me back centered, and so I do appreciate that.
That's good.
Honestly, once I started doing this and spent so much time with MaryLynn, doing all these investigations, I will say that it's definitely had an impact on me physically. I didn't realize that I would become more handsome through this entire process, but that's exactly what happened. And it's a lot for me to carry, but I do the best I can. It does. It really does.
Because I think back, what, in March, and I'm like, well, he's more handsome than what he was in March. So
right.
I do.
Right.
It's the beard.
I know. So I have this, like, I went as Wolverine for Halloween, so I had to like try my best to do like my own Wolverine impression. The problem is, I look like a Wolverine that you bought at the dollar store. Okay. I can't grow facial hair, guys. I tried.
So I had a wig, and I actually offered to cut it and make it to where we could put it as a beard for him, but he wouldn't go for it. So
it's true. Who did you go as? You went as
Bellatrix.
Lemony Snickets?
Bellatrix from Harry Potter, of course.
Right. I thought she was Cher. So
okay, the one where she's on the battleship.
Yes.
Or okay, got you.
Yes. I just thought she believed in a life after love. That's all.
I do that too, but
yes, paranormal rockdown. Exactly. Timu Wolverine. that is it exactly.
Yes.
Alicia
he was
says,
actually Baby Gap Wolverine.
Yes, I actually went as Baby Gap Wolverine. Okay, because I am ridiculously tiny. In fact, don't you have some videos from us?
I have some pictures, but I didn't get videos.
I sent you videos. We did videos.
We did.
We do a tour. Did you not?
Oh, that's right. I do have that. I just haven't uploaded it yet.
Okay,
I haven't done anything with it. Yeah, I'll do it for the next show. Okay, next show we'll have this incredible video of us on the battleship when I give her a little tour of an incredible attack helicopter. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah. So
guys, it has been an hour 6 minutes, so that pretty much concludes our incredible show with the one and only Misti Gaither of Quest. I know that we have all of your stuff going on down there, but would you be so kind as to let them know how they can find you?
Sure. You can find me on YouTube. It's Quest 504. That'll bring you to the channel. If you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And we'll be actually, I got to interview Michael and MaryLynn, and so that'll be coming up in the next few weeks. So the episode with them, and also I've just have a new website, and it's questparanormaltruecrime.com. So be sure to check that out. We got merch, and matter of fact, it just went live yesterday, so I'm still adding and getting that going. So I appreciate everybody, but I appreciate y'all too very much for inviting me to be your guest. I had a wonderful time. Thank you.
And we would love to have you back.
Yes, sure. Probably.
Probably.
People call you people. No.
I am going to play us out.
Play us out.
All right. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. Wow.